never use the word genocide. There is a problem with violent crime in South Africa that affect everybody, and there is also a problem with farm murders in South Africa that is proportionally much higher than the rest of the population. For us, the reason why we have also visited the White House was because we were concerned about the tariffs. We were concerned about AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunities Act. We are very much in favor of AGOA, and we are against sanctions against South Africa or higher tariffs like what happened last week. The American government imposed 30% tariffs on South Africa. That will affect the farming community, the motor industry, chemical industry, and a lot of other industries. So the embassy in Washington, the South African embassy, was, according to the Americans, basically dysfunctional for about 5 years. And we thought it was our duty to go and to present a case for South Africa. And our message to the Americans: if you are angry at the government, don't punish the whole country with tariffs or with sanctions or so on. Look at the individuals who was responsible and engage with them diplomatically through diplomatic channels. But the embassy there, the Americans, after our visit, they fired the ambassador there because of his remarks about Hamas and Israel and America and Mr. Trump and so on. So, South Africa needs to strengthen its diplomatic ties, to the United States. We have warned the government that there's not a communication problem. They was under the impression that there is only a communication problem between the South African and the American governments. And we gave them evidence that there is a real policy problem. And, with regard to property rights, but also, foreign policy. And we said to them they need to engage with the American government, and urgently engage with the American government, because the American president gave South Africa 90 days, 3 months, to come up with proposals. And that proposals wasn't, forthcoming. And that is a very big problem. South Africa haven't got an ambassador in the United States at this moment, and America haven't got an ambassador in South Africa at this moment. So there's a very big communication problem, but the core of the conflict between the two governments is policy. And we have seen that during the visit of Mr. Ramaphosa to Mr. Trump. We have seen that Mr. Trump have a clear idea. Whether you agree with that is not important. What's important is that there are very much different views, and the government, South African government, did not address that. And that is the core of the problem. So from our side, of course, we have also mentioned the race laws in South Africa. We have also mentioned the danger of expropriation without compensation. But our main message was, please do not punish the people of South Africa with tariffs. You will have the effect on normal working people, on farm workers, on farmers, and so on and so on. And government officials, they will happen nothing with them. So I hope now that the American government have imposed that unbelievable high tariffs, that the South African government now will really take action and try to engage with the Americans and put proposals on the table and work things out.
The tariffs, people in South Africa believe, a lot of people in South Africa believe that the tariffs are a result of the kind of messages that emerge from organizations like yours to say that you are passing on information that is not correct, or that is correct but lacks context. For example, these land-related laws are meant to attain a particular equity within the South African public, but if you do not present that picture properly, Donald Trump and everybody else there will think that these laws are only made by lawless people who just want to punish you for being Afrikaners. And therefore, as a result of that, they say, we are going to retaliate by forcing the South Africa's hand with these tariffs. They are saying that tariffs are a result of your communication to the Americans.
No, that is not correct. The tariffs are a result of policy differences between the two governments, mainly due to South Africa's lack of real diplomatic efforts. So at this moment, we have a court case against the minister in the presidency because he said that we've presented misinformation. Already about 6 large publications in South Africa had to publish apologies because they've also said that we have presented misinformation. And the origin of that was the Secretary General of the ANC that have said that we have spread misinformation, but they couldn't come up with one single fact, one single piece of evidence that we have presented misinformation. The American government is a very powerful government. They have a very large intelligence organizations. If we presented them with misinformation, our credibility will be destroyed. So we have tried to build a long-term credibility with the Americans on the Republican and the Democratic side. And we have a large network in the United States of contacts. And we have always presented them with factual reports, the impact of AGOA, the impact of tariffs and so on. And we have also sent that reports to the South African government. Because the complaint of the Americans was that they do not receive factual reports from the South African government. So we have said, we have at the open invitation, give us evidence of one single piece of misinformation we have presented to the Americans. So we believe that we have presented them with facts. We believe that we have presented the case for South Africa. So I think we have our actions was in fact really very patriotic in trying not to have tariffs against South Africa.
Yeah. The last question to you, Flip, is these members of your community who have emigrated to the USA, saying they are refugees. Some are saying it's people who have wanted to look for opportunities like everybody else in South Africa. You have black people in South Africa, the coloureds, who also leave the country because they think maybe the UK presents a better prospects for their lives. But this group, which is also seemingly just looking for a better life elsewhere, is seen as refugees. I mean, what is your classification of those that are living for the USA under that program?
What we have said to the American government is that that refugee status will only benefit a very small number of people who have relatives murdered on a farm, for example, and so on.
Yeah, the idea is not to name and shame, but we have the likes of Obabes municipality that has not applied, the Rehoboth Town Council that has not applied, Keetmans municipality has not applied, we have Loudred that has not applied, we have it's actually a number of licensees. I don't know them off my head, but there's actually some of the licenses that have not applied.
And I think the consequences can be dire, especially for a town like Loudred, which has such bright prospects right now. Lots of businesses want to go there. Lots of people want to set up big projects, and they've not done their due diligence.
And in fact, it's actually concerning. We have noticed where most of the licensees, especially the local authority licensees, they are under recovering. If you are buying a unit for $1 and then you are selling it for 95 or 99 cents, then you are already making a loss. And then as a result, you will not be able to afford your operation and maintenance costs. So those consequences are actually huge, and then it's actually concerning that they are not applying on time.
Okay, let's move on to a different aspect. The ECB has also recommended generation licenses to the Ministry of Mines, Industries, Mines and Energy for approval. Take us through what that all means.
Okay. So in terms of the licenses that the ECB issues. So the ECB actually, the ECB board recommend licenses to the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, and then the ministry then issue the licenses. So we have a number of recommendations that we have made to the ministry. The first one is actually the Telecom Namibia generation license for own consumption, with an installed capacity of 2.4 megawatt. This is actually a thermal diesel genset.
Okay.
And then we also have the Nampower Roshpina license.
That's a big one. That's a solar.
Yeah, there's actually 100 megawatt. So that one is actually quite big.
Yeah.
It's a solar PV. Is for the Roshpina mine. Then we have Junsmo, also a generation license for own consumption of 1.27 megawatt hour. It's a solar PV. And then we have, this is actually the interesting one, the EPF system. This license is actually for, these are generation license, but for the battery storage. So this is a battery storage facility of 40 megawatt. Wow. So Namibia is actually coming on board when it comes to storage facilities.
That's good news.
Yeah, and this one is specifically for export. Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. Another interesting thing, you know, we've been talking a lot about regional electricity distribution organizations, the REDs, and the South doesn't have a RED. Could you bring us up to date with the progress in establishing the COWOP RED for the South?
Yeah, so the ECB objective is to ensure that the EDI, the electricity distribution industry reform, is achieved. So far, we have 3 REDs. We still need to finalize the establishment of COWOP, as well as the Sendra RED. So with COWOP, which is actually formerly known as SORED, the progress is actually quite good. It's actually at an advanced stage. We have a signed shareholder agreement where 9 local authorities have signed. This agreement at the moment is with the Attorney General Office for review. So the local authorities that have signed this agreement to join COWOP is actually Keetman Municipality, Karasburg Town Council, Rehoboth Town Council, Gibeon Village Council, Hardap Regional Council, Karas Regional Council, Matahwa Village Council, and many others. So in terms of the progress, we are making good progress. Obviously, consultation are still ongoing to ensure that everything is actually in place before we implement this EDI.
No, that's good to hear. Another very interesting approval that ECB recently announced was the Wheeling Framework version 6. What is that? And what does it mean?
Yeah, so we had an existing Wheeling Framework. So the Wheeling Framework was actually just revised. And what actually necessitated the revise is for the framework to support the operationalization of the modified single buyer market. So what we did with the new framework, we wanted to provide a practical framework to be able to determine and implement the charges for the wheeling services and charges for the use of the transmission and distribution network. So as part of the MSB, we have to unbundle the tariff. And the market participant must be able to know how much they are paying for if they have to wheel electricity from one region to the other, for instance, or if they have to wheel electricity from Namibia to the border.
The MSB, that's the modified single buyer.
Yes.
But wheel, what does wheel mean?
Wheeling is actually, in other words, is a transportation of
Okay.
electricity.
All right.
Now, when one transport electricity, you use the transmission line, the network line, and
Yes.
someone has to pay for those
Okay.
services.
Okay.
So the wheeling framework actually just then ensure that the wheeling charges and services are then unbundled, and then one is able to determine how much it costs for you to wheel, for you to transport electricity from one point to the other.
I see.
If you want to use a service.
I see.
Each of us got a document like this, which is proof of an open account, etc., which was signed under oath on the last day of termination.
Yes.
That is the amount that you were told is owed to you. That's your severance notice and whatnot. Now, this amount was then filed with the High Court, and the High Court had to go through their processes and whatnot, but we were not informed. 6 months down the line, we were informed that, okay, your amount is now changed. But why was it changed? The negotiation took place, you agreed, we left, whatever, we signed off. If you were not in agreement, why did you sign it off? Why did you give it to us? And why did we leave the company and went home
Yeah.
and wait for your money? So the amount was then changed with the stamp of the Master of the High Court. We then sought fit to say, okay, if this is what you want to do, we'll go to the High Court. We then went to the High Court, we won the case. So obviously, we are on the right, isn't it? Now we need to go to the Supreme Court. So we have to go through all these hoops and doors and jump over everything just to get money that you worked for. Remember, 23 years, 1 week for every for the 23 years that you've worked. It's not that lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see the monies that are flying around here every day.
Yeah.
It looks like $1 million is nothing to some people.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, for us, we are just wanting what is owed to us for the years that you've worked for, that you sacrificed. Remember, during the winter times, we were supposed to be at the office 3 o'clock in the morning
Yes.
to go and have a flight and stuff like that. So you sacrificed, you've put your body on the line. Well, you've worked for it, you know. We did our honest living. We didn't steal any money or nothing.
I
So
appreciate that.
we just want to have what is owed to us, and not just me, all the employees of Enamabia. You understand? Some of them were lucky now that they've got a job, but there are some of our colleagues that are still struggling, that are still unemployed.
Yes.
So is there no empathy for us?
Yeah.
Yes, I know a lot of people are maybe angry with Enamabia employees because yes, we had a nice ride, we could go to London, we could go to Frankfurt and stuff like that, but it is a job like anything else, and there's a benefit to any job that you do. You know, if you at nuts, you can study for free, those type of things. So I just want people to understand that this is not this is just a professional thing. We just want the money that we worked for, and I'm inviting everybody that feels that we are hard done by. We are inviting them to the media briefing tomorrow to come and show their support at 9 o'clock at the Ministry of Transport, so that hopefully there will be some urgency to this matter, and that we can get the full payment of our money or the rest of our monies.
Take us through the issue with the ex-gratia payment.
Ex-gratia payment. Ex-gratia was a gratuity payment that we did not force it on anyone. It was said that because you worked for Enamabia, we will give you an ex-gratia payment and all of these things that you will go through. I think what they maybe thought was the liquidation process will take 1 year, hence the 1 year salary, equivalent to 1 year salary.
Okay.
It's not a salary per se, it's an ex-gratia payment.
Yeah.
So you cannot call it a salary, it was equivalent to a salary, just to get to a quantum that you have to give to somebody. Because you couldn't give an average payment or whatever, you have to work out something. So that ex-gratia payment was then given. We had to fight again with NAMRA to say, listen, we're supposed to get 300,000 tax-free on this thing. How come you tax the full amount? You understand? Eventually, they gave the 300,000 tax-free back, but then we understood that ex-gratia was actually be totally tax-free. We don't know. But that is why we need to speak to the powers that be, to
The finance minister.
the finance minister, so that they can assist us in this matter. But now what happens is that the ex-gratia is like a spanner in the wheel with regard to tax.
I see.
There's a lot of tax issues that ex gratia brought on top of that. Like now, we cannot claim the 300,000 on our severance. We have to pay the full severance tax. But because it's in court, we have not paid the tax on that one yet. So, but we need to find out what we can do. What is the assistance that can be given, or will we get the 300,000 on that as well? So, but yeah, it's a conundrum.
In terms of NAMRA, have you only been able to speak to the NAMRA employees, or has NAMRA's management given you an audience?
Nobody wants to see us. We've spoken to the legal advisors. We've written to the legal advisors. We've written to Parliament, Parliamentarian Standing Committee on Human Resources and Public Administration. We haven't gotten any feedback. We've submitted two petitions. They never saw it fit. And these are the people that swore an oath to help the people of Namibia.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, I've got a Namibian passport, so I'm a Namibian. And each and every one of us that have worked for Namibia.
Yes.
But up to now, two petitions, the Parliamentarian Committee called us once and not again.
Oh.
So, yeah, but I think it's because we are based maybe in Windhoek. There's no traveling involved, if you understand what I mean. So, yeah.
For SNT.
Yes.
I see.
Okay. So, yeah. So, these issues have not been dealt with. We've done our processes.
Yes.
The three arms of government, we've written letters, we've applied to go for petitions, we've submitted the petitions, we've went to media, we wrote letters, we did this, we did that. We did everything in our power that we can do.
Yeah.
Now, what other option is left for us?
Yeah.
What other options? There's another. We also had like a sit-in at Namibia building. I don't know.
I remember. I was there.
For a whole week, we slept on the hard pavements. But that's how we got part of the payment, not the full payment. You understand? So we think maybe it's something that we need to do again, or maybe something else that we need to. But something needs to give. We need to do something. And yeah, we've got the full support of everyone. So yeah, hopefully they will come out in masses tomorrow, and we can deal with this issue once and for all, because nobody wants to have this hang over your head forever. You understand? We need to move on.
Yeah.
We need the new airline to start on a clear blank page, you know. Hopefully we can be part of it so that we can hit the ground running, the former employees of Namibia, because like I said, we've got the institutional knowledge, we know what the pitfalls are, we learn from the experience in the past, so we can only be up to a benefit for the new airline that will start. But yeah.
When you were still working for Air Namibia, how did you feel about the airline? Was it a source of pride for you?
Of course, if we played in the Premier League, if I can use the analogy of soccer. Even though we're a small country with a small population, logistically we're far away from Europe.
Yeah.
But because we've got that colonial thing is with Germany, we had to fly to Germany to bring them here. You know, us in South Africa, we offer the same things.
Yes.
So if they can go to South Africa, they'll go directly to South Africa. Why do they need to stop in Namibia? You understand? We've got the animals and our wildlife and our tourism. Our tourism, I don't know what the contribution now is on the GDP, but it used to be one of the biggest contributors to GDP. And we're lagging behind, and it's a gem that we can start and we can create employment. You understand? The thing with Namibia was never to make profit, but to employ.
Yes.
And people pay tax.
Yes.
And stuff like that. Sometimes you need to break an egg to make an omelette. It's not always about profit. It's about what significance or what contribution you can give. It doesn't necessarily have to mean financial or physical, physical, but you can do something else, you understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not here to sell Namibia or whatever, but we did do a valuable contribution to the GDP, you understand? If I can just make, when I flew, we used to have a load factor of 75% on the aircraft.
Okay.
So that means on every day, the aircraft was full 75% of the time.
Okay.
Okay, so now if you check, one flight will take off, one flight will come back. If you count all of those people and one tourist came to spend just 50 euros,
Yeah.
count that 50 euros, change it into Namibian dollars per day, how much it would be over 365 days.
Yes.
But nobody did any investigation. Everything was just bad mouthing and stuff like that. So there was no nobody that stood up to say no, but let's also look at the positive sides. You know, it was all just negative, but maybe that was a narrative that people wanted to sell for the liquidation.